Hi, I'm Kim Vermaak, the Mindset Whisperer, and welcome to the Convention podcast for the Professional Speakers Association of Southern Africa. Today, I have with me Allon Raiz from Raizcorp and Flowcode. Welcome to the show, and thank you for being a speaker today.
Thank you for inviting me, and thanks for the opportunity to speak at the Speakers Association convention.
Allon, inside the room, you just addressed all of the addicts. Tell us what an operational addict is.
An operational addict is somebody, very often they don't know they're an addict, but they are somebody who is very good at what they do and getting better at what they do. And the emphasis is on the word do. And the doing results in the value creation for the client. So a speaker speaks and they do the speaking and they deliver the value. And so they are in operational mode. The moment they go into the process of creating a new talk in a different field, and I emphasize in a different field, then they might be moving in towards strategy. But if they're creating a variation on their talk, or just changing the topic, or changing a few slides here or there, that's still in operational mode. But they might be thinking, I'm creating 3 or 4 talks. The important thing is to move from operations to strategy, where the emphasis is that the business delivers the value and not you. So a book, if you write a book, that's strategic. You build something new and it delivers the value without you. You build a series that is sold without you, then you create something new and it delivers the value. So that's the difference at a very high level between being in strategic mindset versus operational mindset. And as we started out, we were saying that you were referencing the fact that most entrepreneurs are in this unconscious addiction state to operations because it's their place of comfort.
So you brought out a product called Flowcode, and I happen to be a user of that product. And what's quite interesting is I do book coaching, but my Flowcoder asked me a couple of questions and said, can you employ other book coaches to go along this process with you? And I said, no, because there's no one who can actually do it the way I do it. How would you answer an entrepreneur, a speaker, a coach with that question if they said that to you?
My response to that would be one of 2 things. The first would be she's unconsciously an addict. Okay. And my second thought would be, does she want to be that? Or is she just unconscious in that space? So if your answer was, no, I can only do that, but then afterwards you said, well, hold on, maybe it's not true, and I can, how can I?
Yes.
Then you would move from what is termed a lifestyle entrepreneur, where you deliver the value, to a growth entrepreneur where process, people, systems deliver the value, not you. And those other people would be delivering your product to your methodology to a different client that you would be delivering to. So now you can scale, now you can grow, because other people are delivering and systems are delivering value, not you. I would probably think that you have become good at this, and you've had a lot of what is termed ego strokes, where they say, well, Kim, she's so good at this. And people say, thank you, you've changed my life. And if it weren't for you, I wouldn't have written this book. So you get a lot of ego stroke as the deliverer of value. And it's very hard for an entrepreneur who is getting that affirmation of how good you are, delivering that value, and this addiction to delivering the value because it's your place of comfort, to actually move into the strategic side, which is to build the process systems and people to deliver value.
And it's such a mental shift, because I know when I had that conversation, I had to say, like, no, it's only me. And then I got asked a series of questions, and then I'm like, but maybe there is a way of getting other people who would focus on different kinds of authors to be able to assist me. One of our members that was at the conference has actually done that. He's created a coaching platform, and he's inviting other coaches to be part of the platform. So that is more of the strategic and less operational. Is that correct?
Correct. And he's the emphasis, or he or she, I didn't pick that up, was the person who's not delivering the value in that. What they are creating is the platform, the creation of that new platform, and that platform delivers the value, not him.
Yes.
You know, that's strategic.
Now, with speakers, they might say to you, okay, that's all very well for those kinds of businesses, but I'm the speaker and I deliver the content. How does that person grow and scale looking at that kind of dynamic?
So I just delivered a speech, right?
Yes.
I didn't get paid for it. Okay. You've mentioned flow code, right? So I got value. You got value. There was a value exchange. If I look, in my intro, I've had a TV show for the last 14 years. In my deal with the channel, they offered to pay me. I said, don't pay me. Let me wear my Raizcorp shirt.
Yes.
Let me invite, we have quite a lot of free reign in terms of who I invite on the TV show. That was agreed. I don't get paid, so it's not a source of income. But it is a means to an end. The end is Raizcorp, okay? And the means are the TV show. Same thing when I speak, even though I do charge, the money doesn't come to me, the money goes to Raizcorp. And it's just, but when I'm speaking, I'm very strategic as to where I speak, because if I don't feel that audience is valuable to Raizcorp, then I won't speak there.
Yes.
Yeah. I will only do it if I can see how me speaking builds my asset.
Yes.
Okay, that's the only way in terms of who I meet. Is it a market that I want to address? So as an example, if I'm asked to speak, I've done it once, I'll never do it again. I'm asked to speak at a school to kids. It was, first of all, it was very difficult because there's no that conceptually, and I don't have the ability to deliver the concepts to a primary school. I don't have that personal ability. So if I'm asked to speak at a school again, I'll say no, because it doesn't serve Raizcorp.
Yes.
Okay, because the audience is not going to. It's going to. So the only reason I would do it is, inverted commas, for charity or to do somebody a favor.
Yes.
Okay. So those are the kinds of decisions about using. If I were a speaker who was serious about building a business, not a speaker business, a business around topic or subject that they speak about.
Yes.
Did you hear? That's an important nuance that I've just said. It's not to build a speaker business. To build a speaker business means I've chosen to be the deliverer of value.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's not wrong. It just is different.
Yes.
Okay. To building a business that uses the subject on which I speak about as the means to an end.
Yes.
So I build entrepreneurs. I speak about entrepreneurship. When I speak to an audience around entrepreneurs, I land up with an audience that is good for Raizcorp.
Yes.
I have the TV show. I've invested in many, many businesses. 2 of those businesses I've met on the TV show. So it's a source for me of meeting the right types of entrepreneurs.
Correct.
I've got the TV show. I use the TV show to take my entrepreneurs and give them exposure. It's good for me. You understand? So I'm still delivering value. But it's not for that. It's for the business.
Correct.
And that's the nuance.
Yes. So one of the things that you're mentioning is like the difference between a survivalist and a lifestylist and something that was in growth. So if I understand it correctly, I can start out as a survivalist, and then I could say, okay, well, I've got an online school. what am I going to do to build my courses so that I don't actually physically have to be in the room? I develop an asset, I developed a team, a system, and so that even if I can no longer speak, even if I'm physically not able to speak, I'm still able to produce revenue because of those assets that I've created. Is that correct?
It's half correct. Okay. You don't start off as a survivalist and then move to a lifestylist and move to a growth. That language or those labels, and I don't like to label, but the label is around mindset. It's relationship with growth.
Yes.
Right. So you could be presenting like I'm just surviving.
Yes.
But you're a growth entrepreneur.
Yes.
Your mental model is I want to grow this thing.
Yes.
The fact that I'm not making money now has got nothing to do with the label. It's your relationship with growth.
Yes.
So in the talk, when I was showing the graph of a growth entrepreneur, you would have seen that it started below the a minimum amount to live. I'll sleep in my car, I said, right? Because I'll do whatever it takes in order to become a growth entrepreneur. So at the beginning of that journey, I am below water.
Yes.
And at some point, I'm surviving.
Yes.
And then I'm making a bit of money. And then I'm making a lot of money.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
But it's my relationship with growth that gives me the label, not my actual present state.
Yes. Okay, I get that because it just triggered that on the flow code system, you've got a whole bunch of digital resources and podcasts. And there was a woman, I can't quite remember her name, that spoke about being in two places at once. Where you are now, where your reality is now, and where you're going to go in the future. So maybe you can't pay your bills now, but your mindset is not stuck in now. Your mindset is like, it is going to change because this is what I'm building for the future.
Correct. And if you think about that, that's got two angles to it. It's the first angle to it is two places at one time, meaning when you said that, my initial thought was, well, in the other place, I can be here, but my product can be delivered elsewhere whilst I'm here.
Yes.
Right? So that was what I was thinking about. But that other state is this very interesting state that entrepreneurs have to be in, which is a future state of it's going to be like this, and I'm building towards that, and where I currently am, and the dissonance between the two is incredibly hard to hold on to. And successful entrepreneurs have learned how to hold on to the dissonance about where I believe. And this is a very important words here. I deserve to be. Deservedness is a very big part of successful entrepreneurs. I deserve that wealth. I deserve that success. I deserve all those things. But I'm here now. And I'm prepared to go through the pain of whatever it takes for me to get there. And even as I'm going up, I'm getting a little bit more confident and it's getting closer. And then what happens? Something happens.
Yes, yes.
And you go do like snakes and ladders, and you go down. Okay. And in that moment that you go down, many entrepreneurs, after the third or fourth or fifth, drop down the ladder, they just lose the will to move on.
Yes.
And then they 90% of all businesses that actually fold voluntarily, they are not put into liquidation. So 96% of businesses will fail within a 10-year period. Okay, and most of those are growth and lifestyle businesses, not the survivalists. But 90% of those that fold just wake up one morning and say, I can't do it anymore. Generally after one of those snakes, snakes and ladders.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I understand that concept a lot because when we look at the convention that we had, we introduced our showcase yesterday morning, and it was the first time that we've introduced something like that. So in the beginning, I had a lot of people saying, why would anyone want to come to this? And I say, no, I do believe there is a space for event coordinators to come, get a catalogue of speakers, choose who they want to have. And I fought very aggressively to keep that idea. But just before the event, the number of people who had signed on was dismal. And then I'm like, and everyone said they will come. The people who had bought into the vision said they will come. Yesterday was a phenomenal day because there were speakers who walked out to say, I've got a booking in Botswana because of the people I met there. But that dissonance between where you've got the vision and no one has yet bought onto that vision, that is really emotionally very tough.
It is. It's some of the biggest pain that you experience as an entrepreneur, mental pain. And I've experienced that many times. Even as I launched Flow Code at the beginning, you're going like, will they come? Will they come? And in the beginning, they don't come. And
Yes.
then one person arrives and then somebody sees the value and then you hold on to that. And I remember in Raizcorp, in the first couple of years, it was 5 years and 2 months before I made my first profit in Raizcorp. And I would get an email, I would have changed somebody's life, but I wasn't profitable. So you live in this double, feeling of, am I bullshitting so much that maybe I'm lying to myself, because here I am telling people how to make profit, but I'm not profitable myself. So you got that going on, right? And then you have a bad day, and then I go back to this email, and I would read an email from somebody, from Kim, saying, you changed my life, and if it wasn't for you and your methodology, I wouldn't be where I am today. And you read that again and again and again, just to get some energy from it to keep going again.
Yes.
Because you're in this place where the feedback, there isn't this positive feedback. And that's the pain you have to get through.
Yes.
And every entrepreneur knows that pain, and also the anxiety of, will they come?
Yes, that's true. Allon, I could actually sit here the whole day and just glean from you, but I know that I'm not allowed to because we do have quite a big program to go to. Thank you so much for being here. I so appreciate it. And I know you had a standing ovation in the back from a couple of people who've built a team, because they actually understand exactly what you're talking about. And I know they're going to be people just dissecting over the weekend and making big changes in their business. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.